So hello guys and good evening to one and all, and welcome to Talk Rocks and Interbrain Debate Competition. Let me start with introducing today's judges. We have Tanvi Shete. She was an exchange student in France 2018-19, currently working as president of Rotary Club of Nasik Smart City and culinary student in IHM Aurangabad. I welcome you, Tanvi Tai. Now we have Miss Gayatri Patil. She's from Sardar Patel College of Engineering, currently on the post of Technical Secretary of Student Council 2021. She's writing a research paper under Dr. Santosh Rane sir. She has also worked as a strategy developer for digital marketing at joint member of IIIE student chapter and a proud SPCN. We are very glad to have you, Gayatri Tai. Okay. So moving to today's event, I would like to request participants to switch on their cameras first and to introduce themselves quickly. We'll start with team 1. So team 1, will you introduce yourself please? Hargun Kochar and Khushi Ahir.
Khushi, you can begin.
Okay. Thank you so much, Janvi. And it's an honor to take a part in this competition. This is Khushi Ahir. I am the Joint Secretary to RSC Nasik Nine Hills and the President-elect. And we are very excited to go on with the debate. So thank you.
Great.
Hargun? Good evening, everybody. This is Hargun Singh Kochar, serving as the club secretary for Rotary Club Nationals this year and the vice president-elect for the same. It's a wonderful evening with a lot of people over here and looking forward towards this competition with great excitement and points. Let's see where the best one win.
Great. Now team 2, Revati Deshmukh and Shubhankar Mishra.
Hello, myself Revati Deshmukh. I am a member in a Road Track 9 Hills, and yeah.
And Shubhankar?
Yeah, he is not well, so he has not joined.
Okay. Team 3, Chinmay and Atharva. So Chinmay? Okay, Chinmay.
Hi, my name is Chinmay Jogaikar and I am from Team 3 and my partner is Atharva Athavale. So we are very excited for this debate competition. Thank you for having us.
Great. And team 4, Tejas Raite and Ninad Kasar.
My name is Ninad Kasar. I'm a member of RSC Nine Hills, Nasik, and a lot of excitement for this debate competition since 2 days. Me and my friend have worked out for this. So as my friend Hargun said, let the best candidate win. That's it. Thank you.
Great.
Hello everyone. I am Rotractor Tejas Raite from RSC Nine Hills. It's happy to discuss the topics with you all, having a very gentle mind. We are all very intelligent. So it will be a very fruitful discussion to discuss with you all, much more than debate. So thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, guys. So we will start with the debate now, right? So first round is between team 1 and team 4. So are you ready?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So team 1, that is the proposition team. You have 2 minutes for your introductory speech and your time starts now.
Okay, just a second, if we could interrupt. Can you just please let us know who is going to go first for the introductory part of the terms and conditions of the debate so that everybody's on the same grounds?
You are asking for the refutation round, right?
No, I'm asking for the general rules of instruction so that all the teams follow the same and there will be no communication gap in the middle of the debate so that it goes smoothly.
Okay, I'll tell you. So for introductory speech, the proposition team will introduce first and the opposition team will start the questioning in the refutation round. and the proposition team, sorry, let me check. Okay. So the opposition team will conclude and the preposition team will conclude after the opposition team. So it's a 2-5-2 round. Like 2 minutes for introduction and conclusion and 5 minutes for refutation. So is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so should we begin now?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt, Hargun. Janvi, I just want to know whether, because I saw in that TechRox PDF, it was written 2 minutes proposition, then 2 minutes opposition, then 5 minutes refutation, then again 2 minutes concluding, and again 2 minutes. So is it that first Hargun, as he's my mate in the debate competition, is for proposition, he will do 2 minutes proposition, then again I will do my starting speech for 2 minutes opposition,
Yes.
and then the refutation will start. Is it so?
Yes, it is so.
Okay, correct. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's it.
If you guys want, I can share the screen for the rules.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Now we're going to get any remarks like after 1 minute 30 seconds, so that we are very much, the timer can give us some remarks possibly, so that we know that when 2 minutes are going to end.
We will put a warning bell in the chat box.
Okay. Chat box.
Raghav is keeping time.
Okay. Works well.
Great. So any doubts from anyone? Okay, I don't see. Cool. So we will begin now, and I request team 1, that is the proposition team. You have 2 minutes for your introductory speech. Now let's begin now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Today we are here to discuss the topic democracy is a hurdle in progress. I feel the topic is very well framed because, when you talk about a hurdle, it's something that will not allow you to move further. It is not that it is causing any problem. It is a stoppage. It's a point of stoppage. Let's consider the main idea of democracy in the starting. People are at the center in a democracy. Everything or every action of the government is aimed towards the people in the front. So it's like a circle with people over here, and around is all the things that encircle people themselves. But in recent days, one can understand democracy is nothing. It's turned into nothing but a hierarchical system. The first is the government, then there is the state government, then the municipal commission, and then the people. The people have not become the center stage. They've become the outside of the main game, where they are just used, or they are just there to follow the laws made of the government, irrespective of what is going on, what is not going on, without any consideration. Let's understand why the autocracy or communism is more in demand and why it can be a better option than democracy. Let's consider the recent rule put up by Russia that Vladimir Putin is going to stay in power till 2036. It's already been 15 years that he's serving. It's another 15 years that we'll be serving. So over here, one can understand the country is in full swing of motion. I understands that what the country is at the current point. We've seen developments, and the developments will be going in the same stage forward. That means that the country is in a stable position. Also, I would like to make a point at the start that all political parties are playing a blame game over here. What actually happens is when you switch on a news channel, it's like, aapne ye kiya tha, this has happened, this was in your tenure, we are doing this is just a blame game. Nobody's focused towards the agenda, towards the solution. And the last point in the opening remarks I would like to state is that all pillars, as executive, legislation, judiciary, and media, are decentralized, due to which what happens is people just keep on moving the case files from one place to another without any progress in their situation and the understanding of what people matter. Thank you.
So now the opposition team can start with the introductory speech.
Yes. Thank you, Janvi. First of all, a very good evening to all the ladies and gentlemen present here. Starting my speech, rather than focusing on what democracy is and how it is hurdle, I think I would like to say that we all should be proud that we are the citizens of world's largest democracy. Adding that, I would like to give some facts and figures. Like in 2017, there was a Pew Research Center which undertook a global survey which told us that some of the most developed democratic countries like United States, United Kingdom, Canada, etc., the majority of people, they were totally happy about the democratic country, about the democracy, because the progress which had led to that, because the progress which was as compared to few earlier years. Also, talking about India, I would like to say the literacy rate of India in 2020 was 77.7%, which is much, much, much greater than it was at the end of 1947, when it was around 12%, nearly 12%. So we can see that around these decades, the country has progressed. As if we take the example of India, the country has progressed. There are some of the disadvantages, but if we control it, if we regulate it, then democracy, I think, is one of the most I think that it is the most suitable because of the linguistic culture in India, and because of the varied culture in India, because of its languages, etc. And also, I would like to quote a famous thing, and this is the starting of the debate by a famous philosopher, John Searle. I think I've mislaced with the pronunciation, but it is something like that. So he told that democratic countries work for the people. It reflects their love, their feeling, and their dignity that it carries in the society. I think this all leads to the progress of any country. Thank you.
Okay, great. Now we can begin with the refutation round. So beginning with opposition team, they can start with asking the question. So
Okay.
I hand over to you guys.
Okay, sure. So now, as my friend Hargun mentioned earlier, that monarchy and autocracy, etc., he mentioned in his starting speech. So I would like to give the example of China. You can see that China is economically very at a higher position. But if you go to see the people there, the Xinjiang province, where we have the Uyghur Muslims, the Tibetan minorities, which are very prosecuted, they are tortured there, and there are evidences for it. So even if you're economically very independent, do you think economically very developed, do you think that the people there are happy about it? You can see in Hong Kong too. So do you think that people are happy there? Because the government should work in a cause that the people's rights, the regulations are maintained. They should be happy. So do you think that they are...
Ninad, could you please keep your question short, as we're short of time? So could you just please reframe your question, as we're very short on time? It's just 5 minutes. So yeah.
Be precise.
Okay, sure. So are people more important, or is the economic condition of your country more important, according to you?
Okay. Khushi, would like to go?
You go ahead.
Okay, so I guess Ninad unfortunately has not read the title so properly, that it is saying hurdle in progress. I mean, progress cannot be attributed to just small group of people. If we start looking at economic or religious groups, or rather I would just say people, whatever, let's say example the Santois or the tribal groups in India, even they are somewhere cornered over here. You consider any part of the world. Let's consider Red Indians in US. So I believe that you cannot make everybody happy, but you can try to at least make developments everywhere. Okay. There was one thing which I wanted to very much, that just struck me out of the blue, is that your starting sentence of your speech said, one of the most developed countries, US, one of the most developed democratic countries, but you have just given an example of US. Let me bring to your notice countries like Afghanistan, Cambodia, Burkina Faso, countries like Brunei. These are also democracies. But the development economic rate has not been that much high. Let's consider the countries, for example, communist countries like China. Okay, although you have stated an example that might be related to an ethnic group, but I guess the country has made far more progress. Russian Federation, I think it says for itself. Khushi would like to continue the question, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Hargun. As my co-participant Ninad just mentioned about literacy rate increasing to 77%, if I'm not wrong, I would like to ask you if you're aware about the mob rule which is being encouraged in this democratic government. The political parties totally adhere to the mobs to get the votes. So how do you talk about literacy and the mob rule?
First of all, there is no relation between the democracy and the literacy rate. Like illiteracy is the other thing, and the democracy is the other thing. Literacy is the right to education, and democracy is the other thing. Don't like these two are other things. Yes.
Sure,
One,
sure. Definitely,
one more
definitely,
thing,
there are different things. But I would like to mention the topic being democracy, a hurdle to progress. So when you talk about literacy, you talk about progress of the nation, and still we have seen that during elections there are mob rules. Like all of the political parties adhere to such mobs, to people who do not have any knowledge about who's going to give them, progress in the coming years. They just go for money, and then their political parties receive the votes, and next elections are passed. How do you talk about literacy and the mob?
If
Yes.
we are having political parties, then it is the beauty of democracy. Democracy allows every political party to stand. And whatever the case may be, whatever they are running behind, each or everything, money or anything, but they, like, it's a representative. The people elect, they represent it, and then they represent, those leaders represent the people to the center. So they are just a chart that go by step and step.
Also, I would like to add a point to my friend's discussion. Take the example of the parliament sessions which go on. Even if the government is ready to form its own party, but at the same time, there are other opposition parties too standing at the parliament. If there are some of the, that is not that they are mob lynching or something like that. If you are wrong at some point, there are other parties that tell the people that tell their fellow rulers of the government that they are wrong at sometimes. And if you are saying that the people, that the government give them money and so they progress, etc., you told, I think people in India or any of the countries have there some sense of ability to think before giving any vote. I think that stays itself because they want.
So the time for refutation around is up. Now the opposition team can start with their concluding statement. So
Yes.
Tejas, yeah.
I would like to conclude by saying, like, I would like to quote Winston Churchill thought about democracy. He told that democracy is the worst form of government, except all the others, which means that although democracy faces some flaws, it has some problems, it undergoes some challenges, but at the end, it is the most desirable thing that the other options available. Here in the democracy, the people have the power to control, to take decisions, to write, they have freedom of vote, and also they have the decision power making system. Also, yes, in this scenario where democracy is little bit is in a condition of little bit surviving, but we the country having a little bit of immature democracy, though we are going in the path of matureness. Also, it's that it tries to make citizens feel much more grateful because it involves them in the process of making decision making and involvement. So that's the beauty of democracy. And I would like to tell finally that democracy will face some things, but if these things are removed, if these obstructions are removed, then we'll be unstoppable in the path of democracy and also development. Thank you. That was our concluding speech.
Great. Now the proposition team.
Thank you. To conclude our debate, Team 1 stands firm that democracy is a hurdle in progress. The major hurdle we state is that it encourages mob rule, which totally adheres to quantity and not the quality. Political parties attract people on wrong basis just to get the votes, proving zero progress. The second hurdle that democracy imparts is the divide and rule. Elections play a major role to divide the people on obvious basis, leading to zero progress again. The third hurdle majorly being corruption. The misuse of public funds and all works are done on the basis of money that progress of the nation again. Lastly, we would extend our stand saying that the best argument against democracy shall be a 5-minute conversation with an average vote. Thank you.
Great. So now I'll give Gayatri some time to put the scores, and then she'll review your debate. And
sorry, can you repeat, because I didn't understand what you said.
I said, will you please review the debate?
Yeah, sure. So basically, first of all, this is Gayatri here, and I'm from Sardar Patel College of Engineering. And it's my, I'm very happy to be a part of this competition And thank you to Janvi for approaching us. Like tomorrow, I think Avinash is going to be here. So it's a very, proud feeling which we are having. And even a college is also going to be proud because we are we are here and we are doing something measure and we are contributing to something like this. Talking about the debate, like I've participated in some of the debate in my college also, like when I was in 11th and 12th. The highlight of this debate was I like the part when Kushi was talking about, literacy and democracy, the relation between the literacy and democracy. The way she handled it, I just I liked it the most, and everyone was fabulous. Everyone was putting up the points very well, so I don't need to announce the results, right? It's just about what I feel about the debate I have to tell, right?
Yes, you will announce the result after the second debate.
After that, yeah, okay. So yeah, the star of the, like, what I feel from my opinion is the was Khushi, and I really like the way she was in this debate. So thank you.
Thank you.
Now I request Tanvi Tai to give her reviews.
So both the teams fought really well, and the question answers and everything was so very, like, I was into it, and that was really very nice. So I think we know who is the actual star of the evening, as Gayatri said. So, and we'll announce the results very soon. So all the best to everyone.
Okay. Now let us move to team like the second debate. So now we have team 2 and team 3, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let us start with the proposition team.
Okay. Should I start?
Yes, it is team 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you can start with your introductory speech.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for your attention. I'm going to talk on why my team believes that a lockdown is necessary for controlling the spread of novel coronavirus. Last year, when the pandemic hit India, we could see how dangerously infectious the disease was. India took an admirable decision by imposing an early stage lockdown. In a highly populous country such as India, a lockdown can possibly have primarily two objectives. First one, to break the infection chain, and second, to delay the extreme conditions so that we can properly plan for our healthcare system. And because it was an early lockdown, it really did work, unlike other countries such as Italy, who took far too long to make such important decision. In June, India marked the first day when the recovery exceeded the numbers of active cases, and in September, both the numbers of active cases as well as daily increase in number started to decline rapidly. While we do think that it adversely affected our economy, we also believe that sometimes strict measures are necessary when liberal approaches don't seem to work. After the fairly successful lockdown, the situation was predicted to be under control by February 2021, but it was but because of the carelessness and lack of seriousness shown by people about the pandemic situation, it led to the unfortunate circumstances that we are living today. Moving forward, we still believe that a strategically imposed lockdown, along with increased vaccination drives, testing, and public awareness, is the best way possible to tackle the situation. Thank you.
Great. Now we will move to opposition team. So opposition team should, can you start with your introduction, please?
Good evening, everyone. So today's the topic for debate of mine is that why is lockdown not necessary? So I strongly supported कि lockdown is not necessary because there has been many gatherings in a time period from when the lockdown, मतलब, when it sorry, can I speak in Hindi, please?
Yeah, no problem.
It is an English debate, so you have to speak in English.
So can you give me a minute, please? So from when the lockdown has been open up, there has been many gatherings, social gatherings, wedding. People have not followed the norm. So I think that government should have kept the norm that time only strict. So now we should have not faced the situation today. So I think lockdown is not necessary now, because the recovery rate in India is 108 million, while that rate is today 2.9 millions. So the people are getting recovered also. And from 18th April, 70 lakh people have been vaccinated, whereas in other countries, this much rate is not there of vaccination. So I think India should have not locked down. Thank you.
Okay, then let's move towards the refutation round. So I request team opposition to start with the question. So Revati. Is she there? If she is not joining, then we will have to give bye to team 3. We will wait for 2 to 3 minutes maximum.
Yeah, sure.
Just a second, I'll give Revati a call if possible.
Yes, please.
Janvi,
Huh?
actually, Resti is having some electricity issues at her place, so she won't be joining us very soon. And she has requested to please go ahead and give the other team bye.
Okay, then we'll give team 3 bye. So congratulations, team 3. You're the, or I guess we can do a dummy debate with team 3, between team 3, and if anyone from team 1 and 4 would like to volunteer for this debate.
We would like that. We would like that, Atharva.
Team 1 can,
Yeah,
team 1
that's
is
fine.
ready to go for it.
Okay.
Just a second. There's an update from Revati. There was some electricity issues due to which she was unable to join. She's joining within the next 2 minutes.
Okay.
She'll join in next 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, then can we wait for 2 minutes, guys?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then. Okay, Revati is here. So Revati, is the issue resolved? Revati?
I'm so sorry that I left the meeting in between. Sorry.
No issues. So can we begin with the refutation round?
Yes.
Okay then. So you can start with the question.
Yes. India's economy has fallen drastically. So can you give an account for that?
Chinmay, would you like to talk?
Yeah, okay. So my basic first question to you is that as my partner said, that sometimes we have to take major drastic steps. If we give liberal
Atharva, will you continue? And she'll.
Yeah, okay. So economic effects were considered in my proposition, but as we said, sometimes strict measures are needed to be carried out because in a highly populous, the lockdown actually did work in some countries such as Australia and New Zealand. And what they did was after the lockdown, the lifting phase was very gradual. Unlike ours, we sort of suddenly lifted it, and people were very careless after it was lifted, and that's why uh, the situation started to become more and more worse. And right now, health concerns are more important than economy. Money won't be helpful if there's no one available to spend it. And as you mentioned in your hello.
Yes, yes, you're audible. Be quick with your answer as we have 5 minutes only.
Yeah, that's my answer. Okay.
Okay, so your question, proposition team.
So the opposition mentioned recovery rate is high and about the vaccination in her speech. So as a virologist, I would like to mention that viruses are very prone to mutations, and if the infection rate is very high, there are very high amount of chances that a new strain would be formed, as we are saying from the UK strain, and it can cause high increase in the death rate. So, what do you think about that?
Ki, you said that I have said about the vaccination, but at least the people who are getting vaccinated, they are having a set of antibodies in their body, which will help them to fight the new strain. At least not much, but a bit. So the chances of infection from the new strain are less.
Sorry, if you're done, can I just say something?
Yes.
Okay, so as you said that antibodies may have developed after getting vaccinated, but both the vaccines, that is Covishield and Covaxin, that are currently being given to the Indian public, they are not that much efficient to the new UK strain. Only 10% it is efficient. I think Covishield is only 10% efficient to the new UK strain. So I think that we can't totally rely on vaccination as our only choice. We need to take some important decisions, and lockdown is necessary to avoid the number to rise, I feel.
Okay, what is the fact you are speaking on? Who said that they are not effective? They are not effective.
So there are studies have been done for the efficacy rates of a different vaccine. US's Pfizer vaccine is found to be 94% equally effective against the UK strain, while Covaxin doesn't have any data because they haven't done any studies, and Covishield is only found to be 10%
Effective.
effective.
World Health Organization has stated that there is no problem. What do you have to say in that?
Regarding what? What problem?
The
Sorry,
efficiency of vaccine.
sorry, we didn't get your question.
World Health Organization has stated that there is no problem in the vaccines. They are they are effective. So what means, like, why do you have to what do you have to say on that? Then why did the World Health Organization give that statement?
So even if vaccines are effective, their production is not so much that we can cope up with the increasing demand. By the data from the 5th April, only around 100 million of Indians have been vaccinated, and less than 10% of the total population.
So now
Okay.
you're saying about the production. For the production, we need economy, because so we are not doing the lockdown. So lockdown is not necessary.
Time is up, Revati. So we can move to our concluding statement. So Revati, I request you to give your conclusion.
My concluding statement based on my points is that lockdown is not necessary because it is affecting the economy, it is affecting the life of a common man, and it is squeezing the finances, and because the economic is getting lesser, we are having our vaccine production and the medication in lesser numbers. Thank you.
Now the proposition team.
Yeah,
Please
so
give
I'll be giving out a quick summary on why my team is in favor of a complete lockdown. As mentioned by my partner in his opening speech, we believe that a complete lockdown will help us get control over the current situation that we are facing. Along with that, it will be easy for us to achieve our two basic goals. One, that we need to break the chain, and second, help us relieve some pressure of the healthcare system. An early lockdown issued by India in March 2020 as a precautionary measure was a boon in disguise for us, as we were prepared for the future consequences. Italy took a while before they initiated lockdown last year, and we should learn from their mistakes, is what I feel. If we put a complete lockdown, we might be able to get situation under control. Well, we all know, and as my opponent said, vaccine drives have already started in the country. But to boost the speed of vaccination and to reduce the number of active cases, complete lockdown is effective. This can be a small but effective and a contributing step in making the nation COVID-free in the coming times. Thank you so much.
Okay, so that was the end of the debate. So now I request Gayatri Tai and Tanvi Tai to give their reviews. So Gayatri Tai.
Yeah, first of all, the topic was really great because this is the recent topic which we are facing in our life. Like everything is going, like lockdown is going on the weekends, and everyone and no one wants to follow the lockdown. Everyone wants to go out, but the COVID-19 cases are also increasing. I would like to say something about the debate. Is there were some points which I thought was missing in this debate. It's not like lockdown does not only lead to loss in the economy. There are various factors, other factors also, like the students, like people like us, people like me, and everyone is sitting home. They are not able to get the proper kind of knowledge which they would have got in the physical, like if the things would have been in the physical way. So there are many problems rather than only focusing on the economy. So that was not mentioned, and I thought that was really that needed to be there in the debate. Also, people are facing depression because there are no jobs, and they're just sitting in their home and doing nothing but just wasting their time. So factors like this, if that would have been included in the debate, it like or maza aa jata. So that's my point. Baki, everyone was really great, and I think one person is not well, so because of that, it got a little bit disturbed. Otherwise, the topic was great, and the discussions were also great. Thank you.
Tanvi Tai.
Okay, so this topic was really a topic which was to be talked by the youth, and I feel that both the teams have put up their points very effectively. From team 2, I think Shubhankar was not present because he's not well. But on his behalf, I can say that Revati really plays appreciated, because not being that a member is not there and still you're fighting, that's really very appreciable. And in team 3, I can really see a good coordination and understanding, because when Chinmay, I guess, right? So when she was not feeling well, Atharva really took off from there, and that was actually a very nice thing. So I feel that both the teams have well done, and so now let's wait for the results.
Thank you.
Great. So now I request both the judges to give scores and tell us the results. The two winning teams for the knockout rounds.
Jani,
Yes.
just a minute before that. Actually, as we know, Revati is playing alone. So
Okay.
Hargun is willing to tag along for her in the next debate, whatever she will be part of. So can we allow that? He will be participating with his teammate Khushi as well.
If judges allow, then no issues with me.
Okay. I request the judges to give their views, please.
Gayatri Tai?
Yeah, it's okay. I don't have any problem.
Manvi Tai?
Works, no problem.
Great. Then we can do so.
Can I just ask one question? Just a doubt actually.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
regarding the topics, like as mentioned in the PDF that we got for the next round, it is for the knockouts is the technology topic and the farm bill is for the finals. Is it like that?
Just a second, I'll check and tell you. Perfectly.
Sure.
We have sent the corrected PDF. Will you check that
Yes.
one?
Okay,
So
okay, sure.
winners from the both debates will fight for farm bill topic.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah, I think Janvi, we are ready with the results. So the first team which is going ahead, I like the team which wins is team 1.
Congratulations, team 1.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The second team which goes ahead is team 3. So congratulations to team 3, and really played well, team 2 and team 4.
Okay, great. So I guess we are clear with the winning teams and the losing teams now. So for now, we will head on to debate 3, which is the debate for second place for today, and which is between the losing teams of the knockout rounds. Okay, so we can start now. So first of all, team team 2 and team 4. Am I right?
Yes, yes, Jani.
Yes, yes.
Give me a second.
Anchor break.
Required.
Okay. So sorry for this. Okay, so team 2 and team 4. It is debate for second place now, and your topic is technology, boon or curse. And team 2 will be proposing and team 4 will be opposing. Okay, so we can start with the proposition team first, which is team 2. So proposition team can start the introductory speech.
Okay, I'll begin with the team. So yeah, good evening, everybody. So the topic is a very nice topic. It's one of my favorite topics whenever I speak up. So it's like technology a boon or a bane. I mean, this topic actually does not hold any significance because the way we are interacting, it's through a mobile phone or a laptop, it's through technology. You couldn't have seen 2020 go through without technology. Let's start with the basics of technology first. For me, technology, I believe, has turned into a personal assistant for everybody. You know, our mobiles, let's consider the mobiles. It's a standalone. You know, there are 4 needs. Aajkal logo ki 4 needs hai: roti, kapda, makan, and mobile phone. Without mobile phones, people cannot live. It's like an oxygen cylinder which is needed 24/7 around you in a space that's got, I know what to say. So what I can actually say, it's like a personal assistant. You know, people like us cannot afford, we are students obviously, cannot afford their own personal assistant. But a mobile has turned to be such of that cause because, you know, for me, if I say you can just note your things down, your education, your to-do list, what you get from the market, something of that sort. I remember the last time I went to my college, I forgot the route and I used my own mobile phone to get there. It sounds silly, but it's true. We live in a world such of that. We live in such a world. It helps you to get anywhere. I cannot imagine going for a vacation without a mobile phone. My tickets and everything are on my mobile phone. I cannot imagine another thing, enjoying road track debates like these road track meetings without my own laptop. The thing what we are doing here, or the position which we have come to here in this era, is that technology is not a part which we are using. It is a part of a human body. We are not investing in technology. Technology has invested in us to make our lives better. For another matter of fact, when you consider technology for that matter of fact, today, if my Wi-Fi does not work for 10 minutes, it's like a year. We need technology, we need things fast, we need things better, we need things in fluid action. That is what is happening. Today, we cannot wait for none. Time and tide wait for none. You know, these days, I feel that people are not chasing, the clock is not chasing people, people are chasing the clock. Let's do it fast. Let's do what we can do. Let's ace it up. That is what people are doing. That is what people can do because of technology. Also, if I consider in the agriculture sector, because the farm bills are hyping more and more, you know, people keep track records of how much water is there in the fields, how much oxygen is there. People regulate their own homes. I don't remember the last time I've entered my home without ringing a doorbell. A doorbell is a piece of technology, for that matter of fact. So I believe technology is a boon in every call. Thank you very much.
So now the opposition team, please.
Tejas, should I, or you will take?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll take one.
Okay, no problem.
The topic that has been assigned to us is technology. Simply, we can see we are surrounded by technology. Like we are talking, it's just that. But every coin has 2 sides. So let's think about the other. As my friend told about this technology, that technology, this. But can we see in a much more micro form, like in much more zoomed form? Like technology also includes war, modernizing weapons, modernized aircrafts, and also basically the battles which involves such a modernized weapons. So they are also the outcome of a leading technology. Much more than its positive impact, it has caused a very serious negative impact. Like yesterday only, that 50 million linked profiles have got linked. Why? This is because of technology. Like each and every person can contact you without knowing you. They just you have got that frank calls leading to OTPs and that fraud thing. It's just like, though we are surrounded by technology, but we don't know, it's stabbing us from the back. It's stabbing us. Technology, though there are some positive impacts, but much more that there are serious negative impacts. Let's say for health, it has a very it causes a person to get addicted to it. Just see that PUBG case, PUBG, Free Fire, that bunch of games, what they have caused. These youngsters much more than study. What they do, just go online, search through Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, these things. They are in today's scenario. This is just like we'll switch over to phone. like we have dependent on technology. We like the struggle we have left it far behind. We just rely on technology. We just rely on technology, and we don't have any other options. It's like bus technology is the main thing, and what we have to do is just own a good phone, then post a good picture, have a snaps, and then send it. What's the main goal behind? What's the main goal of our life? We are not running for that. This technology has diverted us in a very serious manner. Technology is like, I would like to, there are much more points. As to compile. Okay, take an example. In the 1890s, time is up?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So
should we start question?
sorry?
Now, should we start with the refutation round?
Yes, yes. The refutation round
Okay.
will be of 7 minutes, and the opposition team can start with their question. Please.
Okay. So my first question is, according to a PO Internet survey project, 87%
Could you
of
please speak
teachers.
a bit loud? You're not audible clearly.
Oh, so sorry. Just 1 second. Am I audible, Argun? Am I clearly audible?
I guess you're clear. Please.
Okay.
Yes,
So
better.
Should I start?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, sure. So according to a 2012 PO Internet survey project, around 87% of teachers think that the modern technology is creating a easily distractive and a less attentive generation. Also, one more question is that in introductory speech which you told was the good points about technology which are there, and they are true. I agree with that. But also on the other side, as my friend told, like every coin has two parts. So on the other side, there are different illegal things happening, like identity theft, online pornography, online prostitution, etc. So what are your views about it, about the things that are happening?
Okay, so as you said, every coin has two parts. Let me give you one thing. As every coin has two parts, that's why I think we are debating over here for this platform. That's why debates are organized. My friend over here, Tejas, has just given an example. That's a drop in the ocean. I feel getting addicted is a choice. Okay, even eating jalebis or eating sweets can become addictive in nature. If you start eating them, there needs to be a control. There's something called a self-control which needs to be maintained. One thing which I need to, make a point over here is that when Ninad over here has given an example that 87% of teachers think there is a very big difference between thinking and reality. The reality is that nobody can do anything now. We've changed to a system online that is here to stay forever and ever. Let anybody think. If I think that, this air is polluted, I cannot just go and use a vacuum cleaner and clean the air. Thinking and reality are two different things in that matter, that we need to understand the reality. If we keep thinking, we'll be back in the race. Also, as I said, addiction is a part of choice, and society has both positive and negative elements. If there is a 90% positivity rate, there's a 10% negativity rate also. If we become the 90%, we need to tackle the 10%. It's being tackled very carefully, and that's why it is always said, internet for your benefit and for your goodwill, and stay away from the negative things. It is on us that how we use the internet. If you talk about social media, it's your choice. You use it to read your news transcripts or facts, or just look at, let's say, anything that does not make any sense. On the contrary, my friend Revati will be asking a question to you. Thank you.
Okay, so you in your question you said that the many teachers complain about the generation is becoming inattentive and addicted to the technology. So nowadays our classes are being going on online on the basis of technology only. We are attending it online. As today's Zoom meeting also we are doing it online only. So what is your say on that? So should we stop it? The education will stop. So what do you say on that?
I would like to repeat Mr. Hargun's point. He told that if we have used it in a very judicious manner, then it will be fruitful. That was right. So technology, much more than thinking about the destructive cases, we can use it just limited. We can use it for a limited thing. Not going just, it should be confined. Not dealing with personal issues. Like personal issues, I would like to say, like these social media handles. These social media handles, what does they do? They just copy your data and just sell to multinational companies. So telling your point and adding my point to it. What about those data? What means, how do we tackle this situation? These technology need to be confined. It doesn't to be, it not like it should be everywhere. Yes, Nina.
Also adding on to yes, and also adding on to my friend Revti's point, Revti's question, she told that then what is the say of the online things? So I would like to say that online, that you are saying that what is the use of these online things then that we are following? According to me, online platforms is a way of imbibing a good. It is just a way. It is a good part of technology, as I said. But on the other hand, if you go to see the different negative impacts, which are on the contrary, are much more negative than the positive impacts of online teaching. Like I said, ads, online teaching are a good part. But according to me, the different thefts that are happening, their negative impacts are much more than the positive impacts of the online teaching and all the apps. And as my friend told that the social media things, all that things. And you say that we have to have control on ourselves. Is it really happening in today's generation? Like take the example of Blue Whale, the game which was very trending in early years. One of my seniors committed suicide because of that. His friends, his family, his brothers, siblings were telling again and again to stop doing this. He was trying to stop this, but he was not able to do it because he was not able to control himself.
Also, the exams that are undergoing, the exams that the university is conducting, is it 100% effective?
Be precise with your response and questions. Make it quick so that other team can also debate.
Okay. Also, the exams that we are having, it is 100% effective. The students like they adopt unfair means to get passed, and just it's a simple way of promoting. So, what would you like to talk about it?
And one more thing, please don't answer by saying that it is on us, like we have to control ourselves. That would not be the answer. If someone is getting the marks for it, they will definitely adopt that technique of copying the things. So sorry to interrupt, but please continue.
Did I not get your point, Nina? Could you please repeat?
I just said that earlier point when my friend told that it is on us, we have to control ourselves. So then my friend Tejas asked, then what do you have to say when the students copy in the online exams? Is it beneficial or is it progressing once developed?
I guess the team is not the team is contradicting their own points, and we are not able to speak. So I guess thank you.
No, we make our point clear.
Guys, time's up. A refutation round.
Yeah.
We are done with refutation round. So now we can move to the conclusions. So I request team opposition to conclude.
Okay. So I would like to conclude. I would like to conclude by a small sentence. I will not take much time. I would just want to say technology is a very wide concept, a very broadly classified concept, and it contains very much different things in it. So according to me, we have to classify which things are good, which things are bad. But according to me, as I said, every coin has two parts. But for me and my friend, we think that the negative impacts of technology outweigh the positive impacts of technology. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, now team proposition.
Okay, Okay, summarizing all the points that me and my partner had said. So I like to say that technology is a boon because in today's society and at today's time, it is very important. And yes, the team has contradicted our many points. So thank you.
Okay, then I request judges to give the scores and tell us the results.
Sorry to interrupt. Apologies. Did I miss anything? There was some network connectivity issue at my end.
No, you didn't. The judges are giving the scores.
Thank you very much for the update.
Issues.
So we have did our decision. We have taken our decision, and we'll go with team 2, Revati and Hargo.
Okay, congratulations, team 2, Revati and Arjun. You have secured the second place for Talk Rocks and Inter-Brain Debate competition. Congratulations, guys. So now let's move the final debate of the day. And it's between the winners of knockouts, that is team 1 and team 3. So let's begin with the proposition team.
Can I begin?
Yes, please.
Okay. So good evening, everybody, once again. So from team 1, our topic over here for the knockout round is, are farm bills a road to heaven or hell? So on the contrary, with a huge protest in action currently, I would be supporting this cause and giving the opening remarks. 3 bills with one main cause, the benefits of the farmers. Let's have a close look towards what it is. So the farmers have first of all, the main primary choice what the farmers have. They can sell in any market without APMC coming in the middle. For people who do not know what is an APMC, it's an Agriculture Produce Marketing Corporation. These people and these committees have been in past, accused of bribery and other ill acts, due to which farmers did not get the active price of the produce. People will have more power and authority over the land because they will have more governing authorities with the new acts in place, so that they can grow crops of different kind with rotation and a lot of other things in part. The third is that the monopoly of the APMC will demolish, because in the past people had to pass the APMC to produce, sell their produce in other states or other areas if they wanted to in the past. Also, one thing which I need to bring to focus over here is that MSP is still in place, where people and farmers are aggregating that, MSP will be not getting MSP. MSP, minimum support price, will still stay in place, so that the farmers get the equivalent amount of what they produce is on the base of the quality. Here, the one thing which is added here is the quality produce level, so that if the quality is a bit low with the different grading qualities, the price varies, and that is what are aggregating the farmers, or that's making them aggressive. But I feel this is one of the biggest points of this farmer bill coming into action and moving ahead, because what you have grown is what you should get the price for. Also, the payment for any sale, any sale, let it be inside your boundaries or outside, you will be getting within 3 days. That ensures that the farmers are getting proper pay on proper time, and they can move towards the judicial custody for any, they can move towards the judicial authorities at any time to say that they have not been paid or any of the required. Also, the government is already supporting the farmers with, reduced costs on water bills, with electricity, soil pesticides and insecticides, and good manure. These are already in place. I, on a personal note, believe that these farm bills are going to take the agro economy of the country to the next level, where even the private sector will benefit in a cost that private sector in a demand has to pay nearly 1.5 times the market price for them to acquire the produce, due to which the crops will not get stale, and due to which the quality what people are eating and will be getting in markets will be of the highest. Thank you.
Okay, now team opposition. Your mic is off, Atharva.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay.
Wait.
So a Canadian poet, Brian Brett, once said that farming is a profession of hope. Ladies and gentlemen, as a speaker from the negative side, today I'll be pointing at the loopholes in the Farm Bill, which might make this profession, which might make this a profession of despair. As my worthy opponent explained, all the three bills passed by the government seem to be quite beneficial for the farmers, but every coin has two sides. I'll be talking about every bill one by one. Let's start from the first act. The Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement of Price Assurance and Farm Service Bill. A pretty big name indeed, but it really has some shallow depths. In a nutshell, this act allows big corporations to directly make trade deals with farmers. For example, a fast food chain like McDonald's can make a contract with farmers to produce large quantities of potatoes for their fries. There is either benefit or loss because prices are already fixed. And as the big corporations have their legal teams and financial analysts, they might exploit poor farmers in this case. And as they are big corporations, they won't most definitely make trade deals with poor and needy farmers. They will go for those farmers who produce big amounts. And okay, so although the farmers have rights, if the corporations don't live up to their end of the deal, the dispute redressal system is not at all practical, and which causes injustice, in my opinion. The second act, the Essential Commodities Act, allows traders to stock horticultural and food supplies like onions, potatoes, and edible oils. This can cause a legitimate concern because the traders will only sell the stock produces when the price is very high. And on to the last bill, which allows the farmers to sell their produce anywhere in India. The word anywhere doesn't necessarily mean government mandi. This law gives traders a freedom to open their own private mandis, which don't have to pay taxes, and they are not regulated, and no kind of registration is done there. This seems beneficial at first, but after a while, it raises the possibilities of the collapse of the government mandis, gradually causing serious damage to the lives of the poor farmers. And all in all, I think the Farm Bill is inconsiderate of small-scale farmers and seems like a propaganda for corporatization. Thank you.
Great. Now we'll begin with the refutation round. So team opposition can put their question.
So my opponent mentioned about MSPs, that is minimum support prices. So you said that although people are saying there's no guarantee government would pay MSP, they have already declared the MSPs, and you mentioned that they would most definitely pay it. So my question is, why they haven't explicitly mentioned that in a clause for the third bill, if they are going to do it with a guarantee?
Should I take it forward?
Go
yes.
ahead.
Okay, so one thing which my opponent over here did not notice, that I guess so you have not read the bills very properly, because the bill says a dynamic pricing produce arena, DPP, that's what we called as. The produce which is going to become will be first graded and will be dynamically analyzed by researchers of an area, and then it will be done. So the minimum support price is going to keep changing with respect to the seasons with respect to the produce over here. Also, one thing which I wanted to ask over here is that you have deeply described the process why farmers are not happy. I did not find any factual data with which you are saying that the farmers, that why people should oppose the bill. We've clearly stated the facts that why this is in favor. I would request you to please move forward the argument which says the facts. One more thing which I wanted to highlight over here is that don't you feel that the middlemen and the APMC will not be having an upper control, due to which the farmer, the government, and all the related industries which are for their benefit will be in contact? So I feel that the number of crops, potatoes, onions, tomatoes, and vegetable oil, I don't know how it's a crop, but still, as you have stated, so are these are not only the 4 crops that are grown in India. But if we consider the main growing states like Punjab and Haryana, wheat, rice, millets, these are the main crops on which we eat, or which are the main things we eat. I guess rotis everybody eats, that's wheat and millets. These need to be considered primary and then the vegetables. So my question over here will be posed by my partner for the same. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Argun. As my worthy opponent just mentioned, that big corporates have financial analysts and executives. So I would like to ask you, a farmer totally unknown about financial studies, would it not be a progressive movement for him to, have such analysts and all in his team? Like you said, with McDonald's, they'll directly have a contract with McDonald's. Would it not increase his rates of, export or import, or, would it not help a farmer to have financial analysts in his team?
In the team of farmers?
Yeah, as you said, that big businesses and all have financial analysts and executives. So would it not help a farmer to have such in his team? Would it not prove him? Because he's totally unknown. He's not done his financial studies.
Yeah, it certainly would a farmer, but the question is, do all farmers afford such a
financial analyst?
Yeah.
I mean, can they afford it? Big corps can afford it. My partner just said that big corporations will afford financial analysts and have a negotiation with the farmers. Am I right? Am I right, Atharva?
Yes.
So we were talking about the big corporations and not the farmers here.
Yeah, definitely. But he just mentioned that the McDonald's and all, they could directly contact McDonald's for tomatoes and something. So would it not increase the farmers, export or, production?
Yeah, but I'm saying that
I would just like to add a point to my partner over here. I guess the opposing team has just supported a point, I guess unknowingly.
Exactly.
You have said that the companies have their own analyst. I guess you've not gone through the document once again, you've not referred to the bills. The government has said that government set up agencies and government tied up private companies will be testing crops from time to time. So if they are the whole and sole responsible for testing, corporates are the second step of this process. The main thing what we are fighting upon is that when grading is happening, why is the opposite team opposing the grading of crops, due to which they will be getting more price? Let's go to a market. You are having 2 vegetable centers. Both of them are selling potatoes. One is the higher quality, one is the lower quality. You're paying 40 rupees per kg for both of them. The better should get more price. That's what the thing is about. So yeah.
Can you repeat the government conclusions in the document?
The question for you stands over here is that why are you opposing the grading system, and why do you think the farmer bills are against the farmers? Because until now
they are not necessarily against all of the farmers, but in my opinion, they exploit the poor farmers. It only benefits certain portion of the farmers and not everyone.
Could you please state some facts for the same, because we've been asking for the same since the first part of the debate.
Sorry?
Could you please state some facts to prove your point?
About the MSP, the available data only says that only 6% of the farmers get MSP benefits.
Would you like to take ahead, maybe?
Yeah, actually my internet is just unstable. Yes, about like my point which I was focusing on. So the major point I was focusing was that the government, as Hargun mentioned, the bill is clearly mentioned, the government is totally responsible for the testing and all. So the big corporations which are going to come in are totally responsible for the financial analysis and everything. So for the farmer, is it not a progressive measure when he's getting all the analysis and everything in his team and is getting new projects like McDonald's, as you just mentioned? So don't you think it's a progressive measure for a farmer? Because he cannot directly get orders from McDonald's, but this way they're making it possible.
Well, definitely it is a progress for farmers, no doubt. But as my partner was saying, it's just affecting, I mean, it is only a benefit for a particular group of farmers. I mean, those who are poor, it's not affecting them. Again, my point is same. Atharva?
Okay, I will take ahead from here. I guess the opposing team is not understanding our stature. When we are saying that the bill clearly mentions, or you can have a reference of the bill mentions the government and the agencies will be looking for all farmers, then why are we debating on the sectors? That is a point which the sectors do not come. Also, there are a lot of other points over here. For example, the slash and burn technique it's going away, and a lot of things are there for which the government is supporting. The bill does not only have a lot of points only with the produce. Could you please take over?
Yes, and for this mention, as you said about not all the farmers are.
Time is up, guys. Time's up. So we will move to conclusions now. So I request team opposition to give their conclusion.
Okay, so I'll be concluding on the topic. From the arguments from both sides, I would like to conclude by saying that no doubt that the farm bill is mostly beneficial to the farmers, but I still feel it is more beneficial for the big corporations and traders and not for the small scale farmers. The bill will only work if farmers are educated well and made aware of their rights. All the farmers, I again mention, all the farmers are made aware of their rights, not a specific bunch of people. The government should promote unions between small scale farmers is our solution towards it, if they really care about the farmers' right. Otherwise, it is more about corporatizing everything, which doesn't seem to benefit farmers in any scenario. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, team proposition.
Yes, thank you. To conclude, Team 1 stands firm that Farm Bill is a roadway to heaven. Firstly, one nation, one market can end the monopoly of agricultural produce market committees, that is APMCs. Secondly, it would attract positive investments in the agricultural industry, leading to modernization and better prices for farmers. Next, as the Farm Bill states about contract farming, it is very helpful for farmers because they will get price assurance beforehand. Lastly, the essential commodities bill can help in stabilizing the prices. For example, if the OEM supplies more than the demand, they can store them to prevent the price fall, which also improves the cold storage facilities in the country. To conclude, Farm Bill is proposed by a democratic government of a developing country, India. As I say this, the government stands by the people and for the people and not against the people. It sums up my arguments. Thank you.
Great. Now I will request the judges to give the scores and then we'll declare the result.
I think we are ready with the results, and the winning team is Team 1. So congratulations to Team 1. And Atharva and Chinmay, well done.
Thank you. So
Congratulations.
I would just like to say something.
Yeah, please.
So Hargun, yeah, to be honest, we didn't know anything about Farm Bill until 2 hours. We had no idea we had to prepare for it. So we were kind of taken aback by your argument. And I have social anxiety, and this is my first debate. So it was actually nice losing to you.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Great job, guys. Great job.
Great job.
Atharva, it was great
job.
to hear from you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And is the debate over? Like, are we done with the official closing of the debate? So after that, I'll say something.
Yes, we are officially done. I would like to request our judges first to review your debate, then we will officially declare it. Okay. So Gayatri Dai.
Yeah, I think we missed the review of one more debate,
Yes.
technology one. Yeah,
Yes.
so can I say something about that technology?
Yeah,
the
please,
technology
please.
one. Yeah.
Please.
So like the technology debate was really like it was very good. Like I enjoyed that debate the most out of all the 4 debates. So I like to, if are those people here?
Yes, they are here.
I don't remember the names, but
I guess
yeah.
Ninad is not there, I guess.
Yeah, so it was
Yes,
the most
Nina,
entertaining
just please
debate.
don't interrupt.
Yeah, so the most entertaining
Sorry.
debate of this evening was the technology one. So I loved it the most because all the points, like whatever points were there in my mind, like whenever the team was speaking, so I used to have the point in my mind. So the team used to say the same point only. So it was really entertaining. And talking about this debate, like it was like even I had no knowledge about the topic which was there, like the farm bill and all, but it was great listening to you guys, like all the four of them were really great for the debate. And it was clearly seen that the winning team did a little bit more research and they had a little bit more knowledge about the topic. And yeah, but it's not something which you should be ashamed of, but like I appreciate appreciate Atharva coming up and saying that yes, I had I have no clue about the topic, and yet he was not it was not coming to like we are not understanding that yes, he's not having any knowledge. We're just thinking that yes, he's going to speak something, or yes, they know about it. So that was great. And overall it was great being here with you all today.
Thank you.
So thank you.
You too, Gayatri Tai. Now I request Tanvi Tai to give her review.
Okay, so both the debates were actually really very good, but I'm like speechless and I don't really have more to say about it. But I really appreciate Atharva that he said it was his first time, but to be really very honest, we didn't even realize that it was your first time. So really congratulations for it. And I'll congratulate all the winners, and I'll thank all the participants that they participated, they supported us, and thanks for coming here. So I guess we can call the event to an end officially. So I'll call the meeting to or adjourn. And now we can do the fellowship event if you want, no issue for that.
Sure, we're waiting for that.
Sure.
So Hargun wanted to say something, right?
I just wanted to say something that Atharva, not for a moment, I and Khushi, just realized that you were a first timer, or you were debating for the first time. And everything was very right. Personally, I'm very against farm laws because there are a lot of loopholes when you understand. Sentences के बीच में दिखता है कि यहाँ पर words missing है, यहाँ पर कुछ भी हो सकता है. कुछ भी मतलब farm laws, take out that thing that you can just scribe on, you will find 100. I'll give you the list. मैंने पेज के नीचे मार्क करके रखा है, इसमें 10 गलती है, इसमें 15 है, इसमें 12 है, like this. So nothing of that sort. And I really like Chinmay's last point when you shifted to the human rights issue. अगर आपने starting में human rights लिया होता ना, you would have anyways won the debate because human rights is the main issue in this thing. So, but absolutely flawless. Like I and Khushi were like, sit में chat box में यार ये क्या point है, what to do, कैसे ऊपर नीचे, continuously chat box में how to do. So this is what it is. And from the previous debates with Tejas and Nina, it was wonderful. The points were very wonderful, but I guess Tejas and Nina were thinking on two different things and उनकी चीजें match नहीं हो रही थी, इसीलिए वो हम लोग के लिए किधर ना किधर advantage बन गया. Because your points were going, you were saying one thing and he was saying another thing and it did not collaborate. So afterwards, Khushi and I, when we spoke, हम लोग ने ये चीज निकाली. And yeah, it was very fun interacting and having a fun debate. It was like, I enjoyed my day. Thank you. Over to Khushi. I guess she'll be more happy to support me in this thing.
Yes,
definitely. When I heard of this event, Hargun told me, "यार ये debate अपने को करना ही है, अपने को जाना ही है, बराबर जाना है." And Hargun is always very proactive when it comes to debates and talking to new people. And now like we have got new friends like Chinmay, Janki, and yes, everyone. So it was new actually when it came the topics and all. It was very well framed. Because कुछ debates में we go and we don't even know what are the topics. I moment पे जाके वो बताते हैं. It is very difficult. But thank you guys. Entire management of Smart City was amazing. तुम लोग ने पहले हमें सब भेजा, तो it is very easy for us. And for the debate, Ninad and Tejas, तुम्हारा सुन के मैं डर गई थी, क्योंकि मेरा end में था, हरगुन ने मुझे बोला था strong रखना, तुम strong रहना. And you guys were amazing. It was very difficult for me because points निकालना बहुत difficult था, और हमने भी 1 घंटा पहले actually start किया. Because my uncle got tested COVID positive just 10 minutes before that I got to know the news, and I'm sitting here. So it was very difficult. Hargun was continuously calling me, kidhar hai, and I was like, mera uncle positive hai, ruko. So I had to come running. But this was so good, like it was worth it. And Chinmay and Atharva, कुठेच म्हणजे कधीच वाटलं नाही की you guys are like Atharva, your first time or something. It was so difficult to even think over because I am totally against that formula. मैंने cons का भी ready रखा था, and cons का मेरा script was so so powerful, and I really wanted to say that. But फिर हरगुन से नहीं, अपने का 4 पे जाना है. मैंने बोला ठीक है, ये भी ठीक है. So thank you so much. This was a great day. Thank you so much.
Yes, that Hargun जो तुमने कहा, जो वो पॉइंट था ना कि जो रेवती ने जो रेस किया था कि इफ ये जो हम ऑनलाइन जो कर रहे हैं ऑनलाइन इंटरफेस, देन व्हाट यू विल गिव इन रिटर्न, व्हाट विल द सब्स्टिट्यूट ऑफ इट. वो मैं कहना चाहता था. अगर मेरा बून आता था तो मींस जब उसने बोला ना, इट गॉट माय नर्व. अब मैं क्या बोलूं मैं. तो उस टाइम पे मुझे कुछ समझ आया.
हम डर गए थे तेजस, हम डर गए थे, मैं और खुशी. I'll tell you what was the thing. तुम लोग ने पॉइंट्स अलग अलग बोले, that was true. You and Ninat had different points, but together there were so many points that मुझे मुझे करना पड़ा किस पे रेफ्यूट करूं तो मेरे को ओवरहैंड मिलेगा. आप लोग के पॉइंट्स were much more in number. That was your biggest advantage overall देखा जाए तो. That's why हम लोग मतलब I and खुशी were like इतने पॉइंट्स हो गए, हमने खाली 2 या 4 ही पॉइंट्स बोले. So we had to twist the coin. So it was amazing. मतलब बहुत ही मजा आया.
phenomenal था भाई. ऐसा डिबेट अपने इसमें भी करेंगे, अपने मीटिंग्स में भी करेंगे.
पक्का.
Yes, we can.
इधर अपने ही लोग हैं, राघव लोग भी सब अपने हैं, राघव और तन्वी.
And guys, we can definitely plan a fellowship event or competition even ahead, like iska next version or something. Sare clubs साथ में
Collaboration
greater
event
scale.
plan कर सकते हैं.
Yes. That gets
I was getting there. I was waiting for everybody to finish. Actually, what has
Even I
happened?
want to say something, Raghav Dada, before you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Even this is my first time to host something, so thank you guys. for
Good job,
cooperating.
kudos.
Thank you so much. So
And
please.
also to mention, judges were amazing. You